Hello everyone, good morning. Welcome back to my channel. Today I brought to you a new video. Today we'll be discussing about shell scripting. Today we'll be discussing about an automation task related to shell and shell scripting. So before we move ahead, what is a shell? I've explained to you some basics of Linux in the previous sessions, in the previous videos which are uploaded on my channel. So in that case, shell is one of the most important features in the Linux operating system. Unlike the kernel, a shell is actually a program that acts as an interface between the user and the operating system. So whenever a user has to interact with the operating system, the shell is going to be a bridge between the user and the operating system. So whatever commands, whatever execution related tasks a user has to execute or perform that are going to be performed through the shell, through the command line interface or through the terminal. So in short, what is a shell? A shell is a program that acts as an interface between the user and the operating system. So what does the shell help a user to do? It helps the user to run commands, execute programs, and control the system. In short, what is a shell? Shell is a command interpreter. Now, in this case, what do you mean by shell scripting? The video today's session, we are going to discuss about shell scripting. Now, what is shell scripting? Shell scripting means writing multiple commands in a file to automate tasks. Now let's consider a case you want to run a set of commands regularly onto your system. Will it be possible to enter the same set of commands every time? Yes, it will be, but it will be difficult. So can we automate that task? Can we group all those commands into one single file and execute it? Yes. How? That will be possible through shell scripting. So shell scripting means writing multiple commands in a file to automate the task. Now let's consider a case I want to check my file system usage. For that, I'll be making use of df-ht. I want to check the memory as well. After that, free-mh in Linux. I want to check the date. I want to check the time. All this in a sequence. So what I'll have to do is I'll have to enter all this set of commands. I'll open my Windows subsystem for Linux for that purpose. Let's say I want to check the file system. What I'll be doing is entering df-ht. Then I want to check the memory, usable free memory. I'll be entering free-mh. I'll be checking the free hyphen with the free hyphen mh. I will be checking the memory that includes the swap memory as well. I want to check what's the date today. I'll be checking the date. I want to check the calendar. I'll be putting CAL. So what am I doing with this? I'm actually firing the commands one after other, and I'm waiting for the output. But can we automate this task? Can I execute these commands in a automatic way, in a repetitive way, in such a way that these commands are executed on their own, one after another? Yes, it is possible. How? It is going to be possible through shell scripting. So shell scripting means writing multiple commands in a file to automate the task that I'll be showing to you today. So instead of typing the commands one by one, you can write them in a script and run it at once. So that purpose that is served by shell scripting. So as we discussed, shell is a program that acts as an interface between the user and the operating system. In short, you can say that shell is a command interpreter. Further, I'll discuss about some applications of shell scripting at the end of the session. Before that, it's important to understand which are the types of shell. So I'll not discuss that in detail. For just for the interview purpose, you can say when someone asks you which are the types of shell, you can say the types of shells are Bourne shell. You can say that it is C shell, corn shell, Z shell. These are some types of shell, but the shell on which today we are going to work is the bash shell. So I'm using Windows subsystem for Linux today. I'll just clear this. You can insert this command echo $0 to see which shell it is. So I'm making use of the bash. All right. So what we'll be doing is we'll be creating a shell script. to automate the task. As I explained to you, I want to check the file system. For that, I have to enter df-ht. It's displaying the output to me. Then I want to check the memory, free-mh. It's going to give me some output related to usable memory and swap memory. Then I want to check the date. It's giving me the output in the form of date with respect to the day, the time, and all. I want to check the calendar as well, CAL. So these are the four commands I want to regularly check. But what is happening is I want to insert this commands, I want to fire this command manually, right? So I'll try and automate this. How will I do that? I will do through the shell script. Now let's do this. I'll just clear this and I will create one file. Let's say with the web editor, I'm going to name this file as, let's name this as test file. I'll put the extension as .sh. The extension should be .sh and enter. Now I have opened the Vim editor. I have to go into the editor mode. For that, I'll be entering capital I. So once I enter capital I, I'll be now into the editor mode. So whenever you write a shell script, it's very important for you to define the shell which you are using. In this case, I want to make use of the bash shell. That is why I'll be making use of the shebang line. We call this as the shebang line, and I'm defining the bash shell. I want to use the bash shell, right? It can work without this as well, but it's always good to define the shell. Okay, let's now enter the commands which I wanted, df-ht, then I wanted to enter free-mh to check the memory, followed by date, and finally the calendar, that is CAL. Right now, I have saved this. I have put the commands. Now I'll save this. For this, escape semicolon WQ and the exclamatory mark. So this is the way you save the file in Linux, and I'll say enter. Let's see, is the file created? ls. Yes, the file is created. You can see the file is being created with the name test.sh. Please note down the color. The color is white in this case. Let's try and execute this. For execution of this shell script, what I'll be using is I'll be using dot forward slash name of the file, test.sh. It won't take it won't take, right? The file is not executing. Why I'm getting an error saying that the permission is being denied. Let's check the permissions. I'll ll this and see that the first alphabet, the user group should have access. That is, it is only having here read and write access, right? It is only having read and write access. Execution access is not being given to the user. For that case, what I'll do is I'll use chmod. I'll just give all access to the user with 7. 7 stands for all the access to the user, read, write, and execute. 4 plus 2 plus 1 is equal to 7, right? 4 plus 2 plus 1 is equal to 7. In this case, 7. 7 means you are giving the user read as well as write as well as execute permission, right? So let's continue. For which file you want to give 700 permission? I want to give 700 permission to the test file. Done. Now let's ls this. Once I ls this, now you can see the color has changed to green, whereas previously the color of the file was white. Why has that happened? I'll just show you the permissions. ll. Now you can see rw followed by x. Previously we were only getting r and w for the user. Now it's being rwx. That is, the user is now having read, write as well as execute permission. Now let's try and execute this. How do I execute a shell script? Test.sh is the shell script which is available. Dot forward slash followed by the name and enter. Done. You are getting the output which was desired. Right now, how many times you want to execute this file? You can execute. You need not type the commands. You can see the output I'm getting. The first output I'm getting here is related to the file system. Then I'm getting the second output that is related to my memory. Finally, I'm getting the calendar here, right? So this is the way you actually automate the task. This is the simple way that you can group some set of commands and you can try and execute it. This is going to make life easy. This is going to make the execution and the process easy. Let's do one more thing. Let's complete one more task. In this, what I'll do is I'll define a variable. Let's say we'll make a new shell script. Let's say vim, and I'll name this sample. For this purpose, sample.sh. You can name it by any way, only the extension should be sh. Done. Now I want to go into the editor mode. I'll be typing I'll go into the editor mode. I'll define the shebang line, shebang bin bash. And here we go. I want to echo, enter your name, enter your name, read the I'll take the input with the word read, and I want the input and it's saved in the variable name, and then I will echo this, echo hello, the defined variable, that is dollar. I'll be now specifying it with dollar hello, welcome to cloud and DevOps with Shripad. I'll save this. For that, I'll just give an explanation here. Okay, what am I doing is, in the first line, I have made use of the bash shell and telling the system to run the script using bash shell. Then I am going to make use of the echo command, echo enter your name. That is, it is going to display a message on the terminal. It will ask me for my name. It will be asking me for my name, and then I made use of an input with read as an input. It is going to take an input from the user and it is going to store it in the variable called name, right? The variable name, it's going to save the input and finally it's going to display a message. It's going to print a message with the value which I have typed. Let's see how it works. I'll save this, saved it, and now let's see, is the file created? Yes, the file is created with sample.sh, but it is not again having executable permission. Why? Because it's been displayed here in white color, and you can also check it. Now the file sample.sh, in the first two alphabets are only R and W. They should be R, W, and X. For that purpose, I'm going to make use of chmod 700. That is, I'm going to give the present user read, write, and executable permission. And let's define the file, that is sample.sh. I have executed the command, I fired the command. Let's see what is there. Now both the files are there, they are displayed in green color. That is, now I'm having the executable permission. Now let's try and execute the sample.sh file which I created, sample.sh, and enter. It's asking for my name. Enter your name. I'll put my name, let's say Shreyansh. Shreyansh, and here I go. Hello, Shreyansh. Welcome to Cloud and DevOps with Shripad. Let's try and execute this once again. Whatever the name may be, it will be taking that name, it will be saving that name with that variable, and it will be displaying the output. Sample.sh, enter your name. Now let's say I'll take some another name, Shobit, and hello Shobit, welcome to Cloud and DevOps with Shripad. So this is the way you try and execute command, try and well, and try and display the output onto the terminal. So this is going to help you automate tasks. This is going to help you read some input, display some output as per the user convenience. This is going to automate tasks. You can also try and align this shell script with a cron tab, which I have explained to you in the previous video. You can try and align this shell script with a cron tab to try and execute it without even zero manual intervention at a specific time. Let's say you want to execute daily in the night, in the morning at 9 o'clock, or in the afternoon, let's say at 2 o'clock. You want to execute it without any manual intervention. You don't want to execute it also, like let's say sample.sh. I don't want to fire this command also, but it should run, it should execute, it should store into a particular file. That also is possible. You can integrate this shell script with Cron. The same video I have uploaded on my channel. You can check that video as well. You can take this as a task. You can integrate both these videos and work on it, right? No need to actually try and run this as well. It can automatically take. But in this case, when you want the input, it's not going to work, right? Until and unless a user is going to put some input. Yes, for tasks like the shell script which we created, test.sh, yes, cron tab can be integrated here because there is no input which you are giving, right? You can integrate it with the cron job and you can execute it and you can save the output in a desired file. So this is the way you actually work on shell and shell scripting. So shell scripting is going to make life easy. It's going to help you in automation. It's going to help you in DevOps related tasks. It's going to help you in server management, server monitoring. It is going to help you, take some backup scripts. It's going to help you move this backup script to a desired location. And yes, you can integrate it with cron jobs to, try and automate it much more further. So yes, this completes our video on shell scripting. I hope you must have liked this video. Please, if you have liked the video, if you have understood the concept, please do subscribe to the channel. Thank you and take care.